We've been to parts of the country, we've seen small organisations, we've visited big organisations, we've been private sector, public sector and so on. We've talked to business academics, we've talked to research houses and so on, to really try and get at what the topic is and does it matter. And when you look at all the studies that have been done, what you can find is there does appear to be a strong correlation between employees who are engaged, who are offering more of their potential at work, and the results of those organisations, the output from those organisations. There's really a very strong correlation between those two when you look at all the research, when you look at all these wonderful organisations that are already doing it. And how important is that when you think about we're in difficult economic times, what we need to do is we need to get through these as well as we can. And the only way we'll do that is if we have our people really committed and really offering that discretionary effort, not in a manipulative way, but in a way in which they want to do it, so that it's a win for the organisation and the individual and the country. And then, of course, as we start to come out of recession, we'll face very significant competition from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and for the rest of the developing world, and the rest of the pan-Atlantic global complex, with huge competition coming at us. Well, how are we going to succeed? How are we going to create the wealth that we want to create if we don't have engaged employees? And on the other hand, in an era of constrained resources, we also want to have the public services that we all need and want. And in that case, we also need employees in the public sector to be offering more discretionary efforts. So it's important in difficult times, and it's important to take advantage of the upturn when it actually comes. From all these organisations that we've visited, we've really pulled out 4 themes that continually reoccur in these organisations that do this well and have engaged employees. The first is there's a very clear sense of where the organisation's going, a strategic narrative. Everyone gets where it's going and how their role fits with that. Secondly, there are really engaging managers that offer clarity, what's expected, lots of reinforcing feedback, for instance. They organise work efficiently, they treat you as an individual. Thirdly, that there's real employee voice, that employee at the front line understands how new products are selling and opportunities, and that opinion, that insight is offered all the way through the organisation. One part talks to the other part, that there's a great sense of voice through the organisation, and not, as in one example where chief exec was on the podium saying, I have an open door policy, and the person next to me whispered, yes, open door for good news. All information is travelling. And fourthly, that there is a bringing together of stated values and behaviours.